A pensioner, 87-year-old, was beaten to death in North London for a bag containing a cottage pie and cornflakes. This is what the court has been told now. This is an absolutely appalling murder, what has happened here. And the defendant, I'm going to talk a bit about the case, is obviously he's taken to trial. He's actually disrupted the court hearing yesterday morning. He was asked to leave the court, shouting and screaming, saying, "I didn't kill him, I just took his bag." It's absolutely, you can tell by the evidence, which I'm going to read here, there's no way he's going to get a not guilty. This absolute monster targeted this 87-year-old man who had been out shopping. It's absolutely horrendous. Being out shopping, he's followed him and targeted him. I'm going to go over it now, but the old man is called John Mackey, or Mackey, M-A-C-K-E. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I'm going to say Mackey. John Mackey was targeted, allegedly it says here, but obviously when I'm going to go over it, he actually done it, by unemployed Peter Augustine, who was 59-year-old, after he visited a co-op store in Manor House. The vulnerable pensioner was fatally kicked, punched and stamped on by a robber who made off with his box of cornflakes and a cottage pie, the court has heard. How absolutely disgusting is that? 87-year-old probably hasn't got long left. Well, not probably, when you're that age, your time's coming to an end. And he's had to meet his end of that horrible, despicable man when he's out shopping, going to get his groceries to feed himself on the night. So John Mackey was targeted, or allegedly, by unemployed Peter Augustine after he visited a co-op store, Manor House, North London, on the afternoon of May the 6th. Passers-by saw the 59-year-old defendant attacking Mr Mackey and searching his jacket as he lay on the ground. Prosecutor Jane Bickerstaff KC said another member of the public alerted police and she heard a shout of "Give me the bag" and saw Mr Mackey lying on the pavement. Mr Mackey, who was bleeding from his head, regained consciousness but was unable to tell officers what had happened. He was treated in hospital for bleeding on the brain, broken ribs, but died from his injuries 2 days later. Imagine the pain he must have been in. Absolutely horrendous. Miss Bickerstaff said police pieced together events from CCTV footage, although the attack itself was not caught on camera. Mr Mackey had set off from his home address shortly after 5 p.m, wearing a distinctive trilby hat, grey Macintosh coat, and carrying a walking stick and black bag. The type of old fella that you would walk past in the street and have a smile on your face and think, "Look at that old bloke, proper old fella with his trilby cap on, his walking stick." You would walk past with a smile on your face, wave at him and say, "Hello, how are you doing?" But no, that, what goes through someone's mind to think, "Look at him, defenseless, he can't hurt me, he can't retaliate. I'm going to stamp all over him, take everything he's got and leave him on the ground dying." Why would someone do that? It's absolutely beyond comprehension. So at 12 minutes past 5, he went into the co-op where he bought cornflakes, an own brand cottage pie, a Mirror newspaper, which he put in his bag. He paid for his goods using a £20 note and put the change of £11.50 in his trouser pocket. 18 minutes later, his path crossed with Augustine as he crossed the road and the defendant began to follow him. Mr Mackey then went into Manor Kebab at 5:36 and bought sausage and chips as the defendant loitered outside. So he's in buying himself some sausage and chips for supper. Typical British thing to do. He was originally from Irish, the man, but it is a British thing to do. Get yourself some some sausage and chips, a little bit of butter sprinkled on, take it back, sit, enjoy it. That's your daily luxury. But this poor old fella didn't even get home to enjoy it when he crossed paths with that despicable cretin. The victim was last seen on camera at 5:50 p.m. and Augustine reappeared on CCTV 3 minutes later carrying what looked like the victim's bag. A later search of the defendant's room uncovered what was left of Mr Mackey's groceries and wrapping from the cottage pie and sausage and chips. What was left of it, so he's went back and ate it. What a fucking wrong'un he is. Following his arrest, Augustine said in the police interview that he saw Mr Mackey on the floor, tapped him lightly on his leg and said, "All right, Gov." He said that he thought Mr Mackey was drunk and walked off, taking with him a black bag he found on the road. Well, of course you did. You see him, so you thought, oh, I'll have your bag. You battered him and left him on the floor, you're absolute wrong'un. Augustine told officers the wind must have blew it on the side, so I picked it up and I looked inside. He said that it only contained a newspaper and claimed to not have noticed Mr Mackey before finding him on the ground. Miss Bickerstaff told juries that Mr Mackey, this is the heartbreaking bit, 5'5" tall and weighed less than 9 stone. Come on, he's a little bloke, 5'5" and less than 9 stone. Gives you more reason to go and pat him on the back and say, "You all right, pal? Do you want us to help you walk home?" No. What goes through people's minds to do such deeds? She said he would have been largely unable to put up any resistance to the attack due to his age and infirmity. The prosecutors told the jury at the time Augustine was living in reduced circumstances and was effectively homeless. She said he had used extreme force after he targeted Mr Mackey. Miss Bickerstaff told jurors when the defendant kicked and punched an elderly, vulnerable and largely defenceless man who was prone on the floor, the Crown says that he intended to cause him really serious harm. He denies robbery and murder, and the trial continues at the Old Bailey. And I will keep you up to date on exactly what happens with this case. But I'm just gonna, so John Mackey was originally from Callan, County Kilkenny. So that's where he's originally from. The poor old fella didn't get to finish off his bag of chips and sausage because of what he'd done. He will be found guilty. Everything I've just read to you there, it's blatant, for you to see who committed this offence. That horrible human, can't even call him a human because you wouldn't do that type of thing, is going to be found guilty without a doubt. He's trying to say that he found him on the pavement. He picked his bag up. He thought he was lying there drunk and made off. What, so somebody else has come along in the meantime. No one else is on camera. You're seen on camera following him. You're seen on camera 3 minutes later with his bag. You've rained down blows on this defenceless old man for minutes. If it was 3 minutes whilst he's out of camera sight. And if he was going to rob him, why'd he just take the bag off him? You don't have to stamp all over him and make sure he's lying there dead. You fucker. It's bad enough going to rob the bloke, but doing that whilst he's on the floor is absolutely, like I've said a few times, horrendous. But he will, if not already, find his maker inside of prison. Someone will come into contact with him, and I'm sure the Irish lads inside, when they find out what he's done to one of their own, will get a hold of him, and he deserves everything he gets. He will get prison justice for that, because prisoners like that sometimes try to go unnoticed on normal location wings. These wrong'uns think that they aren't classed as a VP, they're not a bacon. Someone that does this type of offence is a bacon. They get on the numbers, they get put on, if not by themselves. When they get found out, they will get done and they will get put down on the numbers, which is the VP wings with the rest of the bacons. But like I say, prison justice will come to him at some point in his sentence. But I'm going to leave that one there for now, people. There's plenty of more videos to come. Remember to hit the notification bell so you don't miss another video. And as usual, remember to comment, like and subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your day, people, and stay safe.